Well, that was different. There was a countdown timer on. Who knew? I don't even know how I got it on there. Hey, everybody, it's Judy Clock, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Middletown, Virginia, and I am coming to you tonight with a little preview of what's coming for my January workshop. I'm going to be using some new online exclusives that will be available beginning on January 6th, and I'm going to pair it with the currently available Banner Sayings stamp set. So let me switch my cameras so we can see what's on my desk and take me off. All right, so this is the stamp set we'll be using for my January workshops. It's called Banner Sayings, and we'll be pairing that with the triple banner punch that is currently unavailable, but will be back in stock. And I'm going to pair it with this beautiful new designer series paper called Splash of Sparkles. And wait until I turn this paper over. You're going to love it. And I picked this one because when you have designer series paper as beautiful as this one is, and you'll see in a minute, I'm kind of holding off on the fun side. You'll understand why we're going to pair this with the Banner Sayings, because this paper really does all the work for your cards and scrapbook pages. So very quickly, the colors in this paper include Azure Afternoon, Balmy Blue, Bubble Bath, Daffodil Delight, Highland Heather, Lemon Lolly, Pool Party, Pretty in Pink, Shaded Spruce, Timid Tiger, Gold, and Holographic. Ooh, the holographic. Now that's interesting. So before I show you the flip side, I'm going to show you the plain side. So that's one. And I almost think instead of Shaded Spruce, I think that's more Shy Shamrock, but that's just me. I could be wrong, but how fun is that? Okay, so we've got all these pretty stripes and circles and geometric shapes and squiggles. We've got some solid backgrounds, kind of like a wash look. Okay, how fun is that? Now you ready to see the flip side? You're going to love it. You're going to flip. How gorgeous is this paper? We're going to be using this one tonight. We're going to be using this one tonight with that gold in there. There's that holographic effect. How cool is that? We're going to be using this one tonight. Again, you got that holographic effect going. How fun would this be for a scrapbook page? Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. And then, of course, just some orange and pink stripes. All right, so that is our fun paper. Let's see the cards we're going to make. Again, because this paper is just so pretty, I'm really not doing a lot. So I've got kind of this one here. And I had all these little scraps left over after I cut them down. I'm like, this paper's too pretty, so we're going to decorate the inside with those little leftover scraps. But how fun is that? And this just says, here's to you. We've got another, because I love this fun fold because this one shows both sides of the DSP. Now this side is just a little bit pink. Some of them are hard to do because I liked the front, but the backs didn't really match. I'll show you the one that I really kind of wanted to use, but I couldn't really do it because I thought the back just didn't match. So I think it was this one. I actually wanted to use this one for this card, but see the back? It's got the blue and green. So I thought, that's just really not going to look cohesive on a card. So we use this one where we just laid it flat. But I picked this one because it has just the solid pink background. So I thought that worked better for this particular design. And then we're going to do another fun fold, right? Cue the confetti and just a very simple happy birthday card. But how fun is that? And you see what I mean? How I used Shy Shamrock, and I think that picks up the green just a little bit better. I don't think Shaded Spruce would have worked as well, but that is just my 2 cents. So let's go ahead and get started because these are going to be so quick and so easy. And I just got to slide over here for a minute because I forgot to grab my punch and my white scraps. Because we're going to need some scraps. So for this card, and don't forget, I'll have all the measurements on my my blog post tomorrow or Saturday. We're just going to have Highland Heather, a standard 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. On the inside, we're going to add basic white, 5.25 by 4. I have my little scrap of my holographic paper that I'm going to put on the bottom. This was just 4, and I had like 1.5 inches left over, so I just cut them into 2 pieces at 3/4. And then we've got the standard 5.25 by 4 for the front of our card. And then I'm going to take my scrap of bubble bath, and I'm going to punch out 2 of these, because we're going to use those behind our white banner. And I'm going to punch out one of the white banners, the middle one, with the flags on both ends. And actually, I do need one of the top ones, so we'll go ahead and cut that out for our next card. All right. So let me just put this away. Sorry, I'm knocking everything over. All right, I'm going to put this little one aside for now because we're not going to need it. And I am wearing my green top because it is Christmas. I got my little Christmas earrings in. All right, let's go ahead and add our basic white to the inside, because I am not going to stamp on the inside of this one. I'm just going to leave this blank. Sometimes I like to have the inside blank so I can write whatever I want to write in there. But the January class, you'll get 1/4 of a package of this holographic paper, as well as some other supplies. I haven't really figured out what exactly will be coming, mostly because there's not a lot we need, but I'll come up with some good stuff. Now you can put this at the top or the bottom. On my sample, I put it at the top, but I did at the bottom, because I think I actually want to turn the card this way for this one. I'm going to put that on there. We're going to just put that on there on the top. Again, not a lot of stamping. Great card for somebody who's just beginning, because there's not a lot to do. But this paper is just so fun. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of this paper? Do you like it? Was this something you would use? I am. As soon as I got it, I'm like, oh yeah, I love this paper. Now, I kind of did something different, because I wanted these 2 to stick out on my other ones, and I kind of wanted it to be even. So what I did was I took a little bit of tape. I have tape here on my desk somewhere. And I just kind of Scotch taped these 2 together to kind of make one long piece. So this way, when I went to go lay this one on top of it, I wouldn't have to worry about those pieces moving. So we are going to stamp this in our Balmy Blue. I'm sorry, in our Highland Heather. I'm working with Highland Heather. I think I'm going to say, what did I say? I think I said here's to you. I think I did the here's to you. I did do the here's to you. So let's go ahead and stamp that on our little banner in our Highland Heather. Here's to you. Hopefully I got that kind of, well, that's really off center. It's kind of, sometimes it's hard to see, because I want to make sure I can see it on camera, but then sometimes it's hard for me to see between my glasses, the glare. A little bit better. And that's it for our stamping. That is all we're going to do. Let's see if I can push this down just a little bit. Kind of make it, you can see, a little bit better. I don't know if it's better, worse. Tell me if it's better or worse. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this on our little pink banners. That's the one that was off. Okay, a little bit. Now, this is what I was trying to figure out, kind of where the middle is. That looks about even, so I'm going to go ahead and push that down. Now, I wanted to take some white baker's twine. We do have the new one. This is just an old one that I had. I'm trying to finish this up, but I do have the new one that comes in like a, it's like a 4 or 5 pack, the Essentials Baker's Twine pack. And white is in there, along with very vanilla and gray and black and maybe one other color. I don't remember exactly what's in there. But I'm going to take this. I'm going to just add some adhesive in the back here. I'm going to kind of twist it around, and I'm just going to lay it on the back of my banner. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. Now I've got some mini dimensionals here. I kind of cut some up because I was kind of getting to the end of this. So we're just going to take our mini dimensionals and stick them on. Kind of got a little bit here. Here comes Emma, my German Shepherd. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and add this to the front of our card. And there we go. That is card number 1. What do you think? Do you like this paper or not? I really like it a lot, and I think it's going to be very easy to create with and make pretty cards with minimal effort, because look at how beautiful that paper shines. Love it. All right, next we're going to do a little fun fold. So this piece of paper is 5.5 by 5.25. So we only want to have that little 1-inch piece there because we're going to cut a piece of that gorgeous Designer Series paper to 5.5 by 4.25. So this is 5.5 by 5.25, and this is 5.5 by 4.25. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some multi-purpose liquid glue to this little like 1-inch flap. And I love this one for showing off both sides of the Designer Series paper. Okay, there we go. Make sure that I want to make sure that my edges are even. I'm going to kind of do that. I'm going to fold that down, and I'm going to press it down. Okay, press it down. No matter how hard I try not to make a mess with my liquid ink, I always make a mess with my liquid glue, my liquid glue. All right, we're going to add this to the inside. I'm going to, again, I had a little 1-inch strip left. I cut it in half so I could have a little bit of decoration on the inside of our card. Don't waste these little tiny scraps. They can make your inside look pretty. Let's see, let's put this a little bit up from the bottom. All right, and change it up a little bit. All right, now we're going to go ahead and add that to our inside. Okay. And then I'm going to put that there. And again, this white is 5.25 by 4. So pretty standard layer. Now, I thought this was kind of blank. So if I had like a stamp set that had an image, I might, I gotta flip this over now because I got glue on it. I might like put a little design there, like use a background stamp. I don't have that. So I did have some of this striped trim. I think this is actually now retired, but I had some and I thought, oh, that might look kind of pretty with the holographic paper. So I'm going to cut off, I don't know, maybe like 14, 15 inches. Okay, that is a little bit more. Take a little bit more off. Okay, that should be good. I'm going to trim this off. Okay. Now I'm going to tie it around our 1-inch, a little 1-inch piece here. And I'm going to kind of put the knot closer to the top of my card. You put it in the middle, you can put it at the bottom. I kind of like putting it closer to the top. I'm going to pull in my reverse tweezers here. Very handy. It's like having a third hand in your craft room. If you don't have them, go order one. They are perfect to keep in your craft room. Okay. All right, I'm going to take that out now. Tighten that down. Now I'm just going to trim up my ribbon. Could have gone with a little bit less even. Okay. All right. Now for this one, I'm using all 3 of the banners. So I've already got the flag, the one that's got the 1-inch flagged in. That is not the right punch. That is for the Woolly Friends punch. I'm going to come down here and I want to do the middle and the bottom. So I'm going to come in here with my basic white. I'm going to put it down so I can get those 2. Punch them out. All right. put that over there. For this, I'm going to use our Balmy Blue. And we had 3 different sort of, thank you sentiments. So on this one, I'm going to stamp thanks a million. Okay. On the double flagged one, I'm going to stamp I can't thank you enough. And then on our last one, I'm going to stamp grateful for you. That's happy birthday. We don't want happy birthday. We want I'm so grateful. So when we're expressing gratitude, we got a lot of gratitude. All right, now these I'm just going to stagger on there. I'm going to put them on again with some dimensionals. Let me flip these over. Get that out of the way. We don't need that. Trying to keep our desk somewhat neat and orderly. It doesn't always work, but I try. It's a valiant effort, I can assure you. All right, we need to trim down some more of these. Don't ever get rid of your edge pieces. Those are still perfectly good for using as dimensionals. All you got to do is just trim them down into a little bit easier sizes to manage. And they are perfect for these small little banners. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to start here, and I don't really care where I place these, right? Because I kind of want to stagger them. So I'm going to put thanks a million there. I'm going to use the bigger one in the middle, and that says I can't thank you enough. And then we're going to end with I'm so grateful. All right, and there you have it. I'm so grateful. And that is our second card. Sorry, I'm trying to keep them on the screen. I guess I do have to go up a little bit higher. And that is our second card. So again, that beautiful designer series paper is just doing all the work on this. And we've just added a couple of little sentiments. So fun little thank you card. Perfect if you have a baby shower because it's blue and pink. And our last card is a fun fold. So again, I've got our basic white, and I've got that little extra piece. Hate wasting those little extra pieces. Let's see if we can put this one at the top this time, a little bit further from the top. I just like to change it up. Now for this one, I think I stamped in our timid tiger. I stamped happy birthday on the inside, if I can find it. Because I'm looking for it now I'm not going to find it. There it is. I'm just going to stamp happy birthday. And then we are ready to put this one on the inside. Okay. Now for the outside, I cut a piece of that designer series paper to 4 by 5 1/4. So what I want to do is I want to make a slit halfway down and then halfway through. So I'm going to pull in my trimmer. Okay, and I'm going to put this at, it's 5 1/4, so I'm going to put it at 2 5/8. And I'm going to cut that slit from the edge down to about the 2-inch mark. Okay, there we go. All right. Now, call this the K fold because it kind of looks like a big K. All I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this back, right? And I'm just going to press it with my finger because designer series paper is not quite as sturdy as cardstock. And if you press it with a bone folder, it may rip. So we're just going to use our finger. You see how that kind of looks like the letter K? I'm sure that's not what this fold is called, but that's what I decided to call it. Now I'm just going to tack these down, a little bit of adhesive just to keep them, even though we're going to put the circles on top of them, I just want to keep them down. All right, so now we're going to put this on our card front. And again, we're showing both sides. right, of our pretty designer series paper. Ah, here we go. All right, we're going to put this right on here. Okay, there we go. Now I've got 3 circles here. This is 1 7/8, 1 3/4, and 1 1/2. All right, so I used punches for these. You can use dies. If you don't have circles, you can make them squares. Again, 1 7/8, 1 3/4, 1 1/2. You can put whatever shape you want. They were just going to put those kind of covering where we have that slit, and it just kind of covers that up. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I'm actually going to use my liquid glue so I have a little bit of time to kind of get these in place. Make sure I kind of have them even. Because sometimes they don't always come out even. All right, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and put this one on. Okay. And again, we just kind of want to make sure they're somewhat evenly spaced. They're not going to be perfect. They're handmade. Nothing that is handmade is ever perfect. This one I'm going to use a little bit bigger dimensional because I have a little bit bigger space here. I don't need to use the minis on this. I'm going to put these on. All right. There we go. All right, we're going to bring that down. Got a million of these things all over. I'm just going to stick that there. A little bit off center, a little bit more towards the this open green area. And then I want to punch out one more, this one down here. So I don't think I have a skinnier piece of basic white. I thought maybe I did. Just check real quick, but I don't. All right, that's fine. We'll just get 2 of them. Again, I'll save one for another project. Okay. I'm going to put this one off to the side for now. We'll save that for another project. And on this one, we are going to put, it is Cue the Confetti. And I thought that was kind of fun with this card because the gold kind of looks like confetti. So I thought it was just kind of a fun little sentiment to put on there. So we got Cue the Confetti. All right. Close that up. And then this one I'm just going to put on there with some ink. And I'm not really going to put it straight. I'm going to put it on a little bit of an angle. And just kind of make it a little jaunty. Now, if you want, you can go ahead and add some gems or whatever else you want. But like I said, I think this paper is so pretty that you really don't need a lot of embellishments. So that is our 3rd card. So let me know, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. That's card number 3. There's our 2nd card. And then this was our very first card that we made tonight. So again, using that Sparkle and Shine holographic designer series paper, we've kind of let our designer series paper really be the star of these cards. We did a little bit of stamping. This is what I'll be using in my January workshops. Registration will open tomorrow. In my email, I'll have the registration link. So if you are not on my email list and you want to be on, make sure you sign up. The link will be down below in the video description. So make sure you sign up and you can come join us in January. For January, I had to move it to the last weekend in January. I usually do my workshops on the 3rd weekend. However, my husband is having a procedure done that Friday, the 3rd Friday. So I had to move everything back a week just for January. We'll be back on the 3rd weekend in February. So let me just get rid of these for a minute. I always forget how to do this. But that's it for me. I hope you all have a very, very Merry Christmas. I know we're halfway through Hanukkah. I think tonight's the 5th night of Hanukkah. So for those who celebrate, Happy Hanukkah. I hope you are having a wonderful time with family and friends. For those of you who celebrate Christmas, wishing you all the best. I will not be doing a video for next week. I do have a video showing you how to make the never-ending card that I used for my September Stampalooza retreat. I'm going to go ahead and upload that. That will be the video. I'll upload that on Wednesday, so you'll have a video for next week. But I'm taking it off next week so I can spend time with my family. And I hope that you all spend time with your family and friends too. That's it for me, everybody. Thank you so much. If you're not a subscriber yet, I would be so grateful if you would hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks, everybody. Bye.